This is the Fantasy Football Game Plan, where we talk about fantasy football and the NFL. All right, so big week, eh? Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. That must be fantastic.
Yeah, it's kind of like a puppy, I think. You just gotta spend time and patience.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know I'm patient now just because of long nights. It's kind of cool. It's just kind of just take it by strides. It's also been nice that I didn't have to work this week too.
Yeah, right. Well, it's a good time to take a week off.
So get this. Delivery room, 10:53, baby pops up, whatever, like it's now like noon and I know the game's on and like I just slap on my app, put the football there, grab the kid, I'm watching football, delivery room, wife's just like doing whatever. Like it was like the best time. So I was able to see on the Buccaneers game, like the 12 o'clock game, I was able to watch pretty much the first end of the first quarter all the way up to almost halftime. And then I caught the remaining of the game on NFL Network in like speed play kind of thing throughout the week. And then I was able to watch Buffalo, Kansas City. I was able to watch the whole thing. Like I was now into the other ward
Yeah.
and like into the room, and I had the couch and I had a setup, and I had actually my one phone was dying, so I just switched to my other phone, and I had one earbud in the whole time. So if I had to like go check on Emily, I was like still listening to the game. And I remember at one point I was like running back and forth to like where my phone was just to watch the replay, and then going back. Emily's a good trooper. She actually she didn't mention it. She didn't say Pete. Maybe she didn't even notice I was watching the football game.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, but I got to watch, like I said, I got to watch a lot of football on the day that my child was born.
Yeah, that's pretty great. And she came before Super Bowl, so now you'll be able to watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I always knew. Well, we knew that she would come before Super Bowl. So
Okay.
but yeah, definitely was not planned to have a kid on championship weekend. But
No.
it's sure good that we have this 1 week break in between next weekend.
Right. Right. Get
Priorities.
Yeah,
Priorities,
get climatized.
Right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I couldn't really watch the whole Buffalo Kansas City game because I found it agonizing. I was irritated. It wasn't close. Kansas City did that thing Kansas City always does where they spot the other team, 9 points and get down a couple scores. And then, Mecole Hardman, you see him fumble the ball and the Buffalo's already got a lead and they recover it on the 3-yard line and they punch it in, and Mecole Hardman's covering himself with a blanket on the sideline. And, you see Mahomes come over and say, yeah, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. And then they make a point of giving him the ball when they get close to the goal line so he can score the touchdown and shake it off. It's just, they just flick a switch. Kansas City, they just flick the switch. It's like, well, we don't have to play our best game for 4 quarters. We could just play the last 2, maybe 3. We'll be fine. And Buffalo didn't really seem to have any bullets in the gun. They have the one receiver, Diggs, that they love to throw to, and they don't really have anything else. They couldn't run the ball. Yeah, Singletary, he's okay, but they can't really run the ball. I mean, we were talking about that before. It's just that they didn't seem to care that they can't run the ball. I mean, Kansas City doesn't really run the ball very well either.
And Fournette, what a monster, right?
Yeah.
They just fed him the ball, and he was running with purpose. He was like, I am getting to this game. I'm not trying not to get to that game.
Yeah.
So it was good to actually see good hard playing running back play on a Fournette. Like what a stud. And wasn't he at the beginning of the year sort of questionable of even like making it in the NFL, even playing?
He was cut from Jacksonville.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year. It blew up a lot of people's fantasy drafts because, he was I think he was like a top 24 draft pick in most
Hmm.
people's drafts because he was the starter for Jacksonville. And I guess they knew what they had in James Robinson, but nobody else did. So they just let him go. They're just like, oh, this guy's battered and bruised. We've given him the ball, throwing and catching wise, a lot of plays, and he's banged up and he's got a bit of an attitude. And yeah, we'll just cut him.
But what's most surprising is that they have Shady McCoy, the Bucks, on their
Yeah,
roster as well too.
yep.
Like, like as a clutch guy in a big game, like as a surprise back, he may actually produce. I know he's not in the game plan today,
Well,
but
I think he's a great addition to the team because he was on Kansas City's Super Bowl winning team last year, so he knows their plays.
yeah,
Yeah, so what a
yeah.
great guy to have. Hey, hey, LaShawn McCoy, what do you guys do in this situation? Or what do you know? I mean, it's pretty great to have someone who knew so much of Kansas City's offense in your locker room.
And was a big contributor too to Kansas City. Like, what is going on with Clyde Edward
Hilaire,
Haney?
Clyde Edwards-Hilaire.
Yeah, is he still out
He
injured?
was
What's
injured and then he came back and played last game and he played okay. And I mean, they can't really run the ball over there. I mean, Bell's not very good. I don't
Bell's
know.
out
Okay, well, he should be out because it's like he's been
or
out.
questionable because it's
Yeah,
Super Bowl. Like you don't ever want to call yourself out.
right, right. So you got Edwards-Hilaire, and then you've got Durrell.
Oh, Dwell Williams.
Okay, Williams. There, I said.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So
Then they
Durrell
have
Williams.
Darwin Thompson, which never sees the field. Like
Yeah,
he sees the field when he doesn't see it. On
yeah,
special teams as a gunner.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Yeah, I was just so bored in that Kansas City game because it never seemed like a competition at all. And then I mean the game that was it sounds like you missed a lot of it because you had more exciting things going on. But the Bucks against the Packers game was ridiculous. I mean, you said that you watched it up until just before halftime, so you didn't see. Did you see right before halftime? The Bucks are moving the ball. They've got 7 ticks, I think, on the clock, and they're trying to, they're not. It's fourth down. They can't really. They've already gone for it on fourth and got it, but they're sort of. It's a long field goal. Punting would be silly. They call the timeout. They talk about it and they go, "That's fourth down. Sure, we need a bomb, but let's just go for it. We might not make the field goal. Let's just go for it." And then they go into man coverage, and Scotty Miller just runs right by the guy and scores a touchdown. What a momentum shift that was.
Yeah. I picked up Miller last year, week 3, week 4. Brady seemed to like him.
Yeah,
And then but Chris Godwin, uh,
yeah.
like Mike
Evans.
Evans,
Yeah,
like, AP later, Antonio Brown later on in the year.
yeah.
So like
Gronk.
he just kind of Gronk,
Yeah,
obviously, right? And then
yeah.
their other tight end, Brait.
Cam Brate.
Yeah, like phenomenal receiver too.
Yeah,
Like if Gronk wasn't on the team, he still would be producing this guy. So yeah, Scotty Miller kind of fell through. I actually picked him up on waivers and had him on my bench, but then when he wasn't catching the ball in week 6, I had to drop him. But interesting dynamic um, roster they have as a receiving core, and especially with Fournette and Jones if he's going to be playing
yeah.
on the
I think
weekend.
Rojo's now the backup to Fournette, like you were saying earlier. Fournette had a monster game. He was catching the ball, but he was running. It was kind of funny because he did a pirouette. He did like a 360, but he did it in slow mo. It was like super slow mo. He was like plodding when he was doing a 360. But he got in the end zone. That was a huge play. Um,
Yeah, but on the flip side of that too, right? Like you can't not think that the receiving core of Kansas City is something to take lightly because with like the cheetah, Tyreek Hill,
Yeah.
number 10, and then with Travis Kelsey. Like it's just they're just two such different players that bring so much to their game. And then if you put in that Darrell Williams guy as a catching back receiver,
Yeah.
I mean running back, like they're like the rosters are both equally matched. It's going to be a very interesting game. And
Yeah.
last time they played, you made a comment about how the adjustment they did on the defensive line, the Tampa Bay Bucks, after Tyreek Hill made 200 and zillion yards in the first quarter, they kind of played back and just were just being like showing them the defensive line were just standing there at 6'4", smothering the viewpoint of Patrick Mahomes, which was super effective. And then you were like, I remember talking to you on the phone at this time, and you said, I wonder how many people will replicate that type of defense against them. And
Mhm.
not out through the whole entire season, no one else did. So I wonder if they'll go back to that type of strategy, being just keep that spy on him, right? Like whoever they have as a linebacker that would do that will linebacker, right?
Yeah.
Um, you know, if it's not the will, it would be someone else. But yeah, just wondering who would, doing that same type of mentality to try and get the W for the big game of the year.
What would you, because you're a defensive coach, so what would you rather have to worry about? Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelsey, or would you rather prefer having to worry about Evans, Godwin, AB, Gronk, Brait, Scotty Miller? Like what do you think? What do you think is tougher to contend with? Which defensive coach has got a tougher job scheming going into this week?
I think if you study the cues for Kansas City, you'd be able to figure out where the ball's going. I think I've seen enough plays this year that they run that you could sort of understand where they're going to go. It's just having the personnel on your team to be able to stop the pure athletes on that team. So I think it would be a very tough job for Tampa Bay to hold back the arsenal that Kansas City can put out. And it's just that they have pure talent on their team, and you cannot coach talent. So if you're having like a secondary that's sort of like, all right, and they're not getting any pressure on Mahomes, right? It's gonna be a tough one. But I would think that the Kansas City would probably have an easier way of blitzing and defending the pass. It would be an easier job to be on the Kansas City side of things than I think it would be on the Buccaneer side of things.
Okay, but one element that's different um, is that I'm not really afraid of Kansas City's running game much, especially if I'm the Bucks because they're so good. I mean, just ask Green Bay. The Bucks are so good at defending the run. Makes them kind of one-dimensional, even though they're so good at throwing the ball. But for Tampa Bay, they've got the two big backs we were talking about earlier, and you do have to worry about a run threat with those guys. So I feel like, I mean, I don't know, you're the defensive guy, but I feel like, you know, Tampa Bay can throw anything at you, and you have to be ready for all of it. Whereas I feel like with Kansas City, they've got two guys that they're going to give the ball to. It's going to be in the air. Figure it out.
Yeah. I guess it's the health of their linebackers. At the end of the day, linebackers are your defense. They do run, they do pass stopping. And if your health is there on that squad,
Mm-hmm.
so because with Kelsey and with that sly unders, they've been showing it on TV all the time that like Tyreek Hill goes in the slot and just like sprints on a 45-degree angle, like
Yeah.
one of those 1 foot quick slants that we were used to run.
Yeah.
And the guy gets the ball and then he's cutting the opposite side of the field after he makes 15 yards and he's scrambling for 80. And he's done that multiple times over the years. So That's what I mean. If that's the
Yeah.
tricky thing. And then if that you take that away, like they were commenting about it all week long, then you just got like one of the best tight ends to play the game, trying to catch it. So it depends, right? If you got that linebacker on top of the tight end that can, or an rusher that can, you know, sneak and drop into like a zone defense,
Yeah.
kind of like play a little bit of a bubble. You'll be able to like do some things, but it all comes down to that linebacking core of the Buccaneers. They need to be able to sustain the run and also cover the pass, and just make sure that they don't get that soft zone in between strong safety and themselves. And
Yeah.
but it's
I don't think you can cover those guys man to man either way. And I think zone is the way you got to go, some version of a zone, and don't let them run by you, because at least if you can make them catch the short passes, you can give them a whack. I mean, Aaron Jones for the Packers, he got laid out a couple of times, coughed the ball up. I think it was Jordan Whitehead that hit him, but the Bucs D was hitting. They're giving up that short stuff and coming up and just whacking. I mean, they can tackle, they can hit, but they can also tackle, which was good to see, because tackling, as you know, has gone by the wayside in the past few years. You've brought that up before. And I feel like that's the best chance trying to defend that team, is to keep everything in front of you, play zone, go to the ball, get as many guys trying to tackle as possible. Because man on man, I think Tyreek Hill just runs by anybody.
Yeah, I know in the CFL, I don't know if they do this in the NFL. I know this is an NFL show. We shouldn't be talking about CFL, but being in Canada, it's kind of hard not to see both games.
Mm-hmm.
They run a package where they would run like a zone square on like the field side,
Mm-hmm.
so the large side, and then on the boundary side they run man. So it's kind of like a disguise where they have, because the field's so large and it's a passing game in itself. So on the boundary side you run man, and then on the field side you then run this kind of like square zone where like there's 4 people that take over an area.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they run the same type of defense in the NFL. I'm sure someone does. I just haven't really studied defense or coaching.
Only the teams with a really good cover corner, like the Rams,
Yeah.
with Jalen Ramsey, can do that kind of thing.
Yeah, but in the CFL, it doesn't matter. They have no cover corners and they still run it. And I guess that's why you also get games in 100 points every other week.
Yeah.
But like it's one of those ways that you can cover that type of threat, where you are then playing with the hash marks and knowing where the ball is, and and obviously down situations.
The boundary being the short side of the field, and the field, as you were saying, is the wide side.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then
Since you got your coaching hat on, I want to ask you this, tongue in cheek. So it's a playoff game, and it's a 1-score game. You got 3 timeouts, more than 2 minutes left. So you also have the 2-minute warning to stop the clock. Aaron Rodgers, good news. Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback. So on 4th down, do you go for it, or do you
kick a field goal? Kick a field goal. Get the points on the board.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Kick a field goal.
Here's the thing, though. If you go for it on 4th down and you don't get it, the Bucs get the ball inside their 10. Still a 1-score game. They're really backed up. You still have all your timeouts, and you still get another chance to get the ball again and score 8 points and tie the game. Right?
Yep.
Or the Packer thing to do would have been call a timeout, tell Aaron Rodgers to take a seat, tell Jordan Love to warm up the old gun, put him in on 4th down, and see if he can win you the game.
MVP. And let's sit the most valuable player in the NFL for but it's great. I just don't understand the mismanagement. But if you ask me the one question,
Yeah.
I would go with field goal.
Okay. So
I'll go with
you didn't
field
think it was
goal.
such a bad call.
No, I would go
Okay.
with a field goal.
Yeah.
I would kick it. I would tell the kid to kick it in the end zone.
Yeah.
Right. Get it on the 25. Right. And just pray to hope to God that my defensive coordinator could at least run some blitz packages to try and stop them. And even if they did march 30 yards down the field, that's fine. Now you're only at 55. They're kicking you the ball. You're getting at your 10. And then you have Aaron Rodgers, with a minute 32 left on the clock, as you said, I had a 2-minute warning and a couple timeouts, right? So let's say they get 2 first downs and a couple of stops, then, you still have Aaron Rodgers with no timeouts left, 130, and a really great receiving and running back core that could do and then, Aaron Rodgers could throw a Hail Mary if he needs to at, at 8 seconds left in the game. And
I was laughing because I was thinking about our conversation last time, and I was just sitting there thinking, yeah, but what if Mason Crosby misses the kick? Like, he missed one the week before. Guys are missing kicks all through the playoffs, and I'm just thinking, he's going to miss this kick. This is going to be hilarious. But he actually made the kick, which surprised me, and then gave the Bucs the ball. And so, it's not like Brady needs to score. He just needs to eat some clock. And they almost stopped him, except in a game where the referees were not calling very much. They made a call. They made a holding call, and I appreciate that they were just letting him play. But I felt like they put the ref in a really bad spot in that situation because they were trying to let everything go. But I mean, when you see the play, and especially on the replay, the defender starts out tugging on the receiver's jersey with his left hand. And then as the guy's running away from him, he switches hands and tugs on his jersey with the right hand. You could see the jersey's extended.
Oh yeah, that play took 5 minutes to review.
Yeah.
It was
they didn't want to call it.
No.
But how could you not, right?
No, it looked like an elastic band. It was like, wow. Like, I know. I was busy at the time, so I was listening to it in my ear. But I went and saw the replay, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to have battery juice in my second cell phone because this play is taking so long to decipher. And you just see Rodgers just sitting there, just shaking his head,
not a happy camper. Not a happy camper at all. So
and it's just tough because he knows it's like Drew Brees, right? You're done. You're not you might come back next year, yes, but going to the championship game, it's tough. I heard a great stat. I read this the other day online. Steph Curry makes 43% of his three pointers.
Yeah, he's got the best percentage of all time.
Yeah,
in free throws.
43%.
Yeah,
Tom Brady is 43% going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Brady is more likely to go to a Super Bowl than Curry is to hit a 3-pointer.
Yeah, and I'm talking about Rodgers being like, yeah, it's too bad because it's going to be pretty tough for you to get back to the big game.
Yeah, well, I'm 53, so this is Super Bowl 55 that we're about to watch, and one guy has been the quarterback in 10 out of 55 Super Bowls, spanning across 3 different decades. He's been in the Super Bowl. I don't think until he's done, we're not going to be able to understand the gravity of all this. But the equivalent would be if Patrick Mahomes, when Super Bowl 73 rolls around, we're on 55 now. So when Super Bowl 73 comes, if Patrick Mahomes is the starter in that Super Bowl, that would be like the equivalent of the longevity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long.
And the best thing about Brady is that he's lost a couple Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes is an only one. Brady's going in there like this is Thanksgiving dinner, or
Yeah,
this is like
he's lost 3 before.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's like to him this is like when everyone if anyone has nerves or like doing whatever, like oh the pressure of back to back, like it hasn't happened since Dallas. Like
Back to back was New England the last time it happened.
really, I thought.
2003 and 2004.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the first dynasty of the Patriots. They won in 2001. Then they didn't do anything in 2002, and then they won in 2003 and 2004. That's the last time that there was a back-to-back Super Bowl winning team. But the Chiefs could do it this year.
They can.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty. I mean, this is going to be a great game. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm super not excited that I'm not going to be at your house. I think it would be like 10 years now that I'm not going to be eating some like clam chowder and
Yeah,
nachos and chicken wings. So
yeah.
that's it's definitely going to be a
chili and curry and all those good home cooked dishes. I don't know what I'm going to make this year, but yeah, it'll just be me and Sara watching the game. It won't be the same, not having everybody over and not having you there.
Oh yeah, like prop bets. Like I gonna have to like just be texting Lori and saying like, hey,
how did you do?
Sammy Watkins got like a catch.
Yeah, if he plays, hopefully he'll get one because I don't think he'll be on that team next year.
Well, right, but like that's probably going to be a prop bet. Like
yeah.
will he get one catch of over 50 or over under 50? You know what I mean? Like they'll do something like that. Anyways, that's what I'm saying. It's also going to be missing too. Is just the fun times of stupid prop bets that nothing ever really comes out about them because it's not like you put your life fortune on it. But
right. We'll probably text each other during the game, and I guess we'll talk about it after.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So there's a couple big dates coming up. One of them is the Combine, which is on February 23rd. So like after the big game on the 8th, right?
Okay, so that is happening. The Combine is happening.
If it is going to happen, it will be at the end of the month.
Okay.
So like cross our fingers, something happens, right? And then you have free agents March 17th. So that's a big one because that really makes or breaks your roster, especially those cuss teams.
The quarterbacks is going to be crazy this offseason.
Yeah. And then lastly it's the end of April though, but it's the NFL draft. So all those guys that are playing in the Senior Bowl today will be on the board.
Yep. So then we can start planning our fantasy strategy for the upcoming year. Mm-hmm. See who's going where and all the coaching. I think all the coaching vacancies are settled, and the Lions have decided they're going to get rid of Stafford. And
latest news today was that before Super Bowl.
Yeah, apparently the Rams are looking at trading for him.
Robinson from Chicago. Where's he going to go in free agency this year?
The receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely a very big playmaker. He's like almost like an AJ Green back in his day type of player. Mm-hmm. So just let's keep an eye and see what team he gets to and what quarterback is throwing him the ball, because he did nothing with Trubisky, and then whoever else was replaced Trubisky, like Brissett or something like that. And he is definitely a player to keep an eye out next year for.
Yeah, was Nick Foles came in and he couldn't really get him the ball, but him and Trubisky had a pretty good connection. But I agree that if he was on a team with a really good quarterback, he would be scary good, Allen Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
yeah, he's a great player.
Let's just keep that, see where those free agency, where those quarterbacks go, and then where those wide receivers go to, because there's some playmakers out there. Like Julio Jones is a playmaker, but he's getting past his day, and there's other guys out there. Guy from Arizona,
Kirk. Yeah, Kirk.
Christian Kirk.
Yeah, good player.
Good player.
So I think we're going to wrap it up, but enjoy the game, and let's talk after the Super Bowl.
Sounds perfect. All right. Well, enjoy. Let me know what you decide to cook. Text me, and then we should get on a group text with everyone that should be at your house, and at least
Yeah.
entertain ourselves that way.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Bye-bye.
Okay, see you.